Jesus delivered to Pilate, Mark 15:1-5. 1. And having been mourning, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to kill him. 2. And having bound, they brought him away, and they delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the leader. Judas hangs himself, Zechariah 11:10-17. 3. Then Judas, he delivering him up, having seen that he was condemned, having felt regret, returned the 30 silver coins to the chief priests, and the more ancient, for saying, I have sinned, having delivered up guiltless blood. And they said, What to us? Thou shalt see. 5. And having cast down the silver coins in the temple, he withdrew, and having gone away, he strangled himself. 6. And the chief priests, having taken the silver coins, said, It is not lawful to cast them for an offering, since it is the price of blood. 7. And having taken counsel, they purchased with them the potter's field, for the interment to strangers. 8. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood, even to this day. 9. Then was completed that having been spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 silver coins, the price of him prized, whom they from the sons of Israel prized. 10. And they gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. Jesus before Pilate, Luke 23:1-5, John 18:28-40. 11. And Jesus stood before the leader, and the leader asked him, saying, Art thou king of the Jews? Jesus said to him, Thou sayest. 12. And in the accusing him by the chief priests and the more ancient, he answered nothing. 13. Then says Pilate to him, Hearest thou not what they witness against thee? 14. And he answered him not to one word, so that the leader wondered greatly. The crowd chooses Barabbas, Mark 15:6-11, Luke 23:13-25. 15. And in the festival the leader was accustomed to loose one imprisoned to the crowd, which they desired. 16. And they had then an imprisoned distinguished, called Barabbas. 17. Therefore they assembled together. Pilate laid to them, Whom will ye I shall loose to you, Barabbas or Jesus called Christ? 18. For he knew that through envy they had delivered him up. 1. And he sitting upon the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, Nothing to thee, and that just one, for I have suffered this day many things in a dream on his account. 20. And the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. 21. And the leader having answered said to them, Which of the two will ye I shall loose to you? And they said, Barabbas. 22. Pilate says to them, What then shall I do with Jesus called Christ? They all say to him, Let him be crucified. 23. And the leader said, For what evil hath he done? And they cried excessively, saying, Let him be crucified. Pilate washes his hands, Mark 15:12-15. 24. And Pilate, seeing that it profits nothing, but there is rather an uproar, having taken water, he washed his hands before the crowd, saying, I am guiltless of the blood of this just one. Ye shall see yourselves. 25. And all the people having answered said, His blood upon us and upon our children. 26. Then he loosed to them Barabbas, and having scourged Jesus, delivered him up, that he might be crucified. The soldiers mocked Jesus, Isaiah 50:4-11, Mark 15:16-20, Luke 22:63-65, John 19:1-15. 27. Then the soldiers of the leader, having taken Jesus to the praetorium, gathered together the whole band against him. 28. And having unclothed him, they put round him a scarlet, loose, warm cloak. 29. And having twined a crown of thorns, they put upon his head, and a reed upon his right hand. And having fallen upon the knees before him, they mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! 30. And having spit upon him, they took the reed and struck upon his head. 31. And when they mocked him, they put off from him the loose, warm cloak, and put on him his garments, and brought him away to crucify. The crucifixion, Psalm 22:1-31, Mark 15:21-32, Luke 23:26-43, John 19:16-27. 32. And coming they found a man, a Cyrenian, Simon by name. they compelled him that he should lift up his cross. 33. And having come to the place called Golgotha, which is called the place of the skull, 34, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with bile, and having tasted, he would not drink. 35. And having crucified him, they divided his garments among them, casting lot, that spoken by the prophet might be filled up. They divided among them my garments, and upon my clothing they cast lot. 36. And sitting down, they observed him there. 37. And they set above his head his accusation, having been written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. 38. Then were crucified with him 2 robbers, one from the right hand, and the other from the left. 39. And they coming near blasphemed him, shaking their heads, 40, and saying, He loosing the temple and building in 3 days, save thyself. If thou art the Son of God, come down from the cross. 41. And likewise also the chief priests mocking, with the scribes and elders, said 42 others he saved, himself he cannot save. If he is King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. 43. He trusted upon God. Let him now deliver him, if he desires him. For he said, that I am the Son of God. 44. And the robbers crucified with him, reproached him with the same. The death of Jesus, Psalm 22, 131, Mark 15:33, 41, Luke 23, 44, 49, John 19, 28, 30, 45. And from the 6th hour, darkness was upon all the earth, even to the 9th hour. 46. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a great voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, this is my God, why hast thou forsaken me? 47. And some of them standing there, having heard, said that he calls Elias. 48. And quickly one of them, having run and taken a sponge and filled with vinegar and put upon a reed, gave him to drink. 49. And the rest said, Let go. We should see if Elias comes, going to save him. 50. And Jesus, again having cried with a great voice, Let go the Spirit. 51. And behold, the covering of the temple was cleft in 2, from above to below, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were cleft. 52. And the tombs were opened, and many bodies of the holy ones, having been set to sleep, were raised. 53. And having come forth from the tombs after his arising, went into the holy city, and were exhibited to many. 54. And the centurion, and they with him, observing Jesus, having seen the shaking and the things having been, were greatly afraid, saying, Truly this was the Son of God. 55. And many women were there, beholding from far off, who followed Jesus out of Galilee, serving him. 56, among whom was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Joses, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. The burial of Jesus, Isaiah 53, 9, 12, Mark 15, 42, 47, Luke 23, 50, 56, John 19, 38, 42. 57. And being evening, then there came a rich man from Arimathea, Joseph by name, who also himself was a disciple to Jesus. 58. He, having come to Pilate, asked the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered the body to be given back. 59. And Joseph, having taken the body, enwrapped it in clean, fine linen. 60. And put it in his new tomb, which he quarried in the rock. And having rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb, he departed. 61. And Mary Magdalene was there, and the other Mary, sitting opposite the tomb. The guards at the tomb. 62. And in the morrow, which is after the preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees were gathered together to Pilate. 63, saying, Lord, we remember that impostor said, Yet living after 3 days I arise. 64, order therefore the tomb to be rendered secure till the 3rd day, lest his disciples, having come by night, should steal him, and say to the people, He was raised from the dead, and the last error shall be worse than the first. 65. And Pilate said to them, Ye have a watch. Retire, render secure as ye know. 66. And they, having gone, rendered the tomb secure, having sealed the stone with the watch.